Hello, this is Kevin with Easy Step Investing. I am back and I'm better to show you how to make a passive income with crypto. Now, first of all, I want to thank all the new subscribers to my channel. I was very surprised to see that so many people subscribe, although I haven't made a YouTube video in a while. So welcome and thank you. That's actually one of the reasons the things that motivated me to make this video here, to put out some fresh content for you guys. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the Drip Network because the Drip Network has been performing very, very well. And I want to explain to you where I think the price of Drip is headed next. Let's look at Nomics here. As you can see, the price of Drip started around $2 or so, and it went up to $50, came back down to $7, went up to $100, and then it eventually made its way up to $200. And since that point, it came down from $200 all the way down to about $114 to $130 some odd dollars. So that's where we're at now. We're kind of trading sideways, and I kind of want to break down or explain to you where I think the price of Drip is headed next. Are we going to break down from this pattern here down to $100 and all the way down to $50 eventually? Or are we going to see a reversal at this point and then break back up to $200 and make our way up to $500 or even all the way up to $1,000? So I'm going to explain to you where I think the price of Drip is headed, and I'm going to be using the price of HEX to do that. And the reason I like to compare the price of Drip with the price of HEX is because the behavior of the two are very, very similar. And I kind of want to break down and just analyze or determine whether or not the behavior of Drip will continue to follow the behavior of HEX. But before we get into the price, I want to go ahead and give a rundown on the Drip Network for the new subscribers. Okay, now here's your rundown. Now, you can always go to my previous videos and get more into the details of how Drip Network actually functions in terms of how you can make your initial investment back after 100 days. Also, I have videos on how the Drip price is determined based on BNB balance. Also, you can learn about the reservoir, how the reservoir actually supports price, but the fountain is what actually helps to increase the price of Drip, things of that nature. You can always look at my previous videos, but in this video, I'm just going to go ahead and summarize for the new subscribers to my channel. Now, the Drip Network is something like a certificate of deposit, meaning that you put in your initial investment, which is your principal, and that'll populate here in the deposit balance, and you're actually paid a 1% of your deposit balance, what actually populates here in the available here. And when you have an available balance, you have the option to reinvest, which is compound or hydrate this amount back into your deposit balance. And when you reinvest this available back into your deposit balance, of course, it's going to increase your deposit. Okay. And then once your deposit balance increases, now your 1% reward will yield a greater amount. And the thing is once you earn your 1% reward, and you also you're paid up to 365% of this deposit balance, which is 3.65 times the deposit balance. And that's what is reflected here in the max payout. Now, here's your claimed amount. The claimed amount is the amount of Drip that you actually claim and then redeposited, or claim and then sold. So your claimed amount is going to increase every time you recompound, and it's also going to increase every time you sell. The only time your claimed amount does not change is when you make a investment of fresh capital. Now, the significance of this claimed amount is that once your claimed amount is equal to your max payout, then that'll terminate the life of your contract. So your goal is to make sure that your claimed amount does not get too close to your max payout. That way, the contract will last longer. Okay, so in short, this project rewards those who do positive actions, which is your recompound and deposit, but it penalizes those who do negative actions, which is sell. And the more you sell, of course, eventually the contract is going to be terminated. So this is how the Drip Network actually works. And in order for you to participate in this faucet contract, you need to actually join under a buddy. This is my buddy here. You will have to input a buddy address into the same area and then hit run, and in order for you to get a buddy. And then once you have a buddy, you'll actually be able to take your drip, which you will buy on the swap page, and then deposit that into the faucet. And then from that point, you can begin earning your 1% reward. Now, once again, when you're in the faucet contract, you earn 1% of your deposit balance, which is shown here in your available, up to 365% of the deposit balance, which is shown here in your max payout. And your goal is to make sure that your claimed amount never reaches the max payout if you wish to continue using this faucet contract well into the future. Okay, so there's your rundown. Now let's get into the drip price. Is drip going to $200, $500, or $1,000 this year or the next? Let's get it. Now, if you're saying, hey, I want to get started with drip and I want to invest in a faucet contract and begin earning my 1% daily reward, but I want to use Easy Step as my buddy, but you didn't share with me your buddy address. If you're saying that, don't worry. Okay, so in every single YouTube video that I have on the Drip Network, you can find my buddy address in the description right here. If you're using your desktop computer, you should be able to copy my buddy address and put that into the faucet contract. Or you can just shoot me a comment down here below, ask my buddy address, and I can get it to you that way. But if you're using your phone, you may not be able to copy the buddy address from here. So if that's the case, you can always go to the Easy Step blog to find my buddy address. So you'll go to the blog, and you can go to any blog that I have written here, stroll down to the bottom, and you should be able to find my buddy address under Drip Network. And you can copy my buddy address from there and put that into the faucet contract if you would like to use me, Easy Step, as your buddy. Now, let's talk about the price of drip. Okay, now first, let me show you why I like to use the price of HEX to analyze the price of drip. Okay, as you can see, when you're looking at these two price charts side by side, the price of drip looks very similar to the price of HEX. Okay, when it first started, we had this little cup formation here on the drip price, but we also saw that same cup formation for HEX. Okay, when price went up, it began to form some type of handle here, and it came back down to where it started for drip, and the same thing happened to HEX. It came back down to where it started for HEX before it reversed and went back up to the upside. So that's the same thing what happened with drip. When it came back down here, it reversed and went back up to the upside. Now with HEX, it began to go up, and then it kind of fumbled here at this part, and then once it fumbled for a while, for a couple of days, and then it continued to make its ascent to the top here to about 6 or 7 cents. Okay, and the same thing happened for drip. After it came down to the bottom, it reversed, went back up, it kind of fumbled here, just like HEX fumbled here, and then drip continued its move up to the top, which is $200. So that's the reason why I like to compare the drip price to HEX to kind of understand and analyze the future behavior of the drip price. So if drip continued to follow the price behavior of HEX, where can we see drip go? Okay, now let's look at HEX. Okay, once HEX came to this point, which is where we're at with the price of drip, HEX began to drop. Okay, and it dropped back down to where it hit a resistance here at about 0.003. And then once it hit this area at 0.003, it found support there, and then it made its way back up to its all-time high. Now, if drip did the same thing, that would mean that drip will begin to retrace back down to $100. And then once drip hit $100, and then the price of drip will begin to go back up to $200. Okay, now once drip goes back up to $200, where will it go from that point? Will it continue to go up or come back down? Well, with HEX, once it went back up to its all-time high, it hit a resistance, and then it came back down to its support level. And then once it came back down to that support level, it dropped a little bit more, and then it eventually broke through its all-time high. So if the same thing happened with drip, if it continued to follow the price chart or pattern of HEX, we would see it come down to 100, make its way back to 200, and then come back down for one final retest of the support level, which is $100, and then it began to go back up past its all-time high. That is what we can expect from DRIP if they were to follow HEX. Now, I would like to look at this same behavior on another price chart using the chart tools. Okay, now first I want to look at the Elliott waves for the DRIP token, and just want to find out exactly where we are in the market. And what I believe is that anywhere below $50, I believe that that's below the average price for DRIP after DRIP made its run up to about $200. And the reason I believe that's this $50 is below the average price of DRIP is because if you look at the coin market cap, everything below this point, which is $50 on the DEX of DRIP, is below the average price of DRIP if you consider all of the market data for the DRIP token. So from this point here, most people will consider this move here up to about $80 or $100 as the first wave for DRIP, and this would be the third wave. So how would that look on the DRIP price chart? Okay, so what that looks like is if we take the Elliott waves and starting from here, this will be the first wave for DRIP. This will be an ABC correction, which is a running correction. This would be the second wave for DRIP. This would be the third wave. And right now we're looking for another ABC correction for DRIP, which will make up the fourth wave for DRIP. And then eventually DRIP will have its fifth wave to the upside. And we don't know exactly where that next move is going to be. But if we can look at the price of HEX, we might be able to get a better idea of where the price could be headed once it breaks its all-time high. So let's go ahead and look at the price of HEX. Now, what I want to look at here on the price chart of HEX is the percentage movements of price. Now, for the DRIP price, we're actually at this point right here on the DRIP price chart. Okay, so the first wave up, which is DRIP's price, moved from about $20 up to $80 to $100 is right here. And HEX actually went up about 700, let's say about 406%. Okay. Now DRIP at that point went up from, let's say from this point up to about $80 to $100. DRIP went up about 336%, which is pretty close to what HEX did. Now the next move for HEX went up from this point to the next about 233%. DRIP went up from this point, which is about $50 up to $200. DRIP went up about 222%, and HEX went up 233%. So that's pretty close. And then once HEX went up to this price point here, after making this 233% move, it went into a correction here. So after HEX went into its correction phase at this point and did its A, B, and then C move here, it found its bottom at this point. So what that means is that once DRIP makes another ABC correction, which could be an A, a B, move up to its all-time high, and then it'll move down once more for a C correction, which could be down here between $100 and $114. Once it does that, it may be completing its fourth wave if it follows the price behavior of HEX. And then once it completes that fourth wave, and then it'll be moving up to it'll make its fifth wave. Now, once HEX completed its fourth wave and began to move up and break its all-time high, let's see the percentage move for HEX. It went from its all-time high and rose 132%, just about. Now, if DRIP rose 132% after breaking its all-time high, we can get an idea of where the price of DRIP will be once it completes its next move. So let's see where that's going to take us. Let's look for that 132% price move for DRIP, which we do know that the price of DRIP has been kind of following the price of HEX just a little bit in terms of percentage. So if DRIP went up 133% here, we would be looking at a $400 drip. Okay, now that we have an idea of where the drip price could go if it continues to follow the price behavior of HEX, what time frame? What's a time frame for drip to go from about $130 up to $400? Now let's look at the HEX price chart. Now let's see how long it took HEX to complete its price correction after it hit this price point, which is where drip is at now. So once HEX hit this price point, it went into this correction phase for how many days? Let's see. Okay, so from the time it hit resistance all the way into the time it broke through the all-time high and made a new all-time high, it took 170 days to do that. Now, if drip did the same thing, if it takes drip 170 days to complete this fourth wave correction, let's see where that would take us. Let's get the date range here, hitting the resistance out to 170 days. Cloud here. Okay, so that would bring us to about July of this year. Okay, so if drip continues to follow the price behavior of HEX, or if it just follows the price behavior of HEX, then drip would break through its all-time high, which let's go ahead and get that date too. When exactly would it break through its all-time high? Okay, so from here, just about there to here, it'll break through its all-time high in 163 days and hit its next all-time high after 170 days. So what's 163 days? 163 days brings us to July 8th of this year. So we'll break the all-time high. If drip follows HEX, we will break the all-time high on July 8th, around July 8th of 2022, and then we'll hit our next all-time high after a week, July 15th of 2022. So that's the time frame that drip could break its all-time high and hit a $400 price target. Now, if after drip hits its all-time price target and it makes a correction, okay? So HEX made a correction, of course, after it hit this price target. So HEX's correction percentage after it hit this price target was pretty steep. It went all the way back down to this price level, which will bring drip down to $100 after it hit this level. So that would mean that after drip hits its all-time high of $400, it could drop all the way back down to $100. It could happen, maybe not, but it's possible, okay? But as you can see here, first it hit $200. It would have hit, if we follows HEX, it would hit $200, go back up, and then eventually hit $100 for its last correction before going back up again. So if drip did this, just what HEX did at this point, what's the next percentage? Okay, the next price rise for HEX from this point, from this all-time high again, which is $200, up to this point. Okay, so from that all-time high of $200 for drip, it rose 916%. So if drip rose 916% from $200, what would the price of drip be? So from here, we're going to go up 916%. Okay. 916%. Okay, that will bring drip to close to about $1,800. And it took HEX how long to complete this next wave up to this point? Let's see. Okay, so after it hit its all-time high from here to here, so after drip would hit $400, it'll take 194 days, okay, after that point to get to its next all-time high. So after drip hit $400, which is right here, it took 194 days. Okay, so that would mean that after drip hits $400 around July 14th or July 12th of 2022, if we look at what HEX did, which is 194 days, that would mean that drip would hit $1,800, 194 days, brings us right here, 194. That would mean that drip would hit $1,000 or $1,800, around $1,800 of January 20 or January 25th, around January 25th of 2023. Now, is this exactly what drip is going to do? No, it's not guaranteed, but it just gives us an idea of what drip could do if it performs the way HEX did. And also, if HEX can do it, then that means that drip can do it as well. Okay, if one person can break a certain record, in terms of track or a 40-yard dash, they set a new record, then that means other people begin to believe that it's possible, right? I believe that happened before. So if HEX can set these records of these percentage gains, then that lets the drip community know that, hey, if HEX can do it, that means it's also possible for drip. And we also know that drip's mechanics, its tokenomics, is so far superior than HEX's and also other projects out there in the crypto space. So if HEX can do it with a less superior project, drip can definitely do it. And plus, drip's supply is only $1 million. And we have a strong community behind us of people who truly believe in this project. There's no reason why drip cannot go to $400 in the next couple of months here in July, and then go to $1,800 around January or sometime in 2022. It is possible as long as we continue to be a strong community and continue to build, to believe in this project. And we know we have a developer who is constantly working hard, pushing its marketing campaign to get the word out about the drip network. And then plus, we're in the middle of a bull market for all of crypto, which is getting mass adoption. So once the whole crypto space starts to go up, you better believe that drip is going to go up along with the BNB balance. And then once the crypto space starts to drop, you better believe that all that money is going to come out of these markets and go into DeFi, because people are going to try to find ways to make money with their crypto. I believe that it's possible, okay, for drip to do this. And you should believe it too, because this other project, HEX, did it. Drip can do it as well. Okay, thank you for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so and look for the next video. Okay, thank you. This is Easy Step. Thank you for watching.